everyone, and happy Monday. It is the beginning of a new week. I am so glad to see you guys on today. Today was a good day. It was a short day. Well, it wasn't a short day. I meant to say it was a short lesson on today because it was an introduction to lesson 9. And usually when we have our first lessons, it's always a short lesson, and then the homework is short. So we don't really have long homework to do. As a matter of fact, some of the kids were already working on their homework in class, so some of the students already have that done. But I'm still going to go ahead and move forward with the video and make sure you can check their work to make sure that it's done correctly. I did check some, but I did not check all. So we are going to go ahead and move into lesson 9. Lesson 9, session 1 starts with page 213. The top part is the vocabulary part, and I did that with them in class already because I like to make sure we go through our vocabulary because I like vocabulary and I want to make sure that they are getting a good understanding of the word. So we're going to go ahead and move to number 2. So we're starting with number 2 today. Okay, so number 2 says, how would you use skip counting to find 6 times 50? Explain. So they want to know, how could we use skip counting to help us find that? So when they give us a multiplication equation of 6 times 50, and before I even jump in, let me just give you a brief explanation of what the lesson was today. Today's lesson was more so multiplying by multiples of 10s. So we might have used 20, we might have used 30, we might have used, right now we're getting ready to use 50. So multiples of 10s we were multiplying by, because today's lesson is more so, or this week's lesson is more so about place value, multiplying using place value. So they reintroduced the base 10 blocks. So we use that today as a strategy in class, which that is how I'm going to show you how to solve this one. So basically that is what that was about. Last week we were multiplying, but we were multiplying using ordering and grouping, where we were able to switch the order of the numbers or the factors so that it could give us something easier to work with, and then we could also group them with grouping symbols which were our parentheses. That is what we did on last week. So this week we're moving to multiplying using place value. Okay, and then on next week, we'll be moving into division. Now, before we move into division, we will have a mid-unit test. That means they're going to give us a test on half of what we've been knowing from the beginning of when we started our multiplication all the way up until now, before we move on to division. Now, that is a big test. It's going to be worth a lot of their grade. Ms. Newman will do a study guide with them in class, and that will be sent home. That study guide will be done on Friday, and I will send it home Friday, and the test is going to be on Monday. So that gives you the weekend to kind of review. But don't forget that this lesson, lesson 9, that quiz is also going to be on Thursday. So it's a lot going on in a short amount of time. I know it could seem a little bit overwhelming, but we're going to take it one day at a time, and I'm confident the kids are going to do extremely well because they have been doing extremely well already. So all this is just going to be review. This is nothing new with the unit test. This is just review, everything that they've learned up until now with multiplication. So I feel confident that they're going to do well, but we're just going to keep reviewing and assure they're going to do well. So that is what's coming up on this week. Make sure you pay attention to the newsletter that went home today. So I did send a newsletter with all this information on it. So if you have any questions, just refer to the newsletter or just send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So let's go ahead and get back into number 2. So we're multiplying 6 times 50. So that means I have 6 groups of 50. Because remember, when we did our multiplication sentence, the first number is your groups. And then the second number is the size of each group. So I have 6 groups with 50 in each group. Well, then you say, Ms. Newman, 50 is a lot to put into a group. This is where the place value comes into place. So we could use the base 10 blocks. So that, I'm gonna show you how that works. Here it goes. So I'm gonna do 6 groups. I'm gonna make 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're gonna use base 10 blocks, and when I do base 10 blocks, you generally like to use just the line. I'll use just one line, and this one line means 10. That one line means 10. So if I have 6 groups with 50 of these groups, that means I'm gonna do 5 of these 10s. Because 5, if I count by 10s, 5, 10, 50, I'm sorry, not 10s. If I count, I'm counting by 5s. If I count by 10s, that'll give me 50. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, which is why I'm gonna put 5 of these 10 lines. So in the box, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's my 10 lines, or base 10 blocks, we like to call them, inside of each box. Now, all I have to do is do my skip count. So we can skip count by 10s, and now it'll be easier for us to do that. So if I skip count by 10s, this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, and then my last box, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300. So when I got to my last one and I did the skip count, I got 300. I know it's kind of small for you to see, so you don't have to write that skip count underneath. You can just skip count as you go along. But there's another skip count you can do, because I know that each of these have 50 on the inside. Then you can put your 50 on top. Let's see, I'm trying to find a color, guys. I'll use this. So I know this has 50, this has 50, this has 50, this one has 50 in it, this one has 50, this one has 50. So you can skip count by 50s to do that. So if you skip count by 50s, this will be 50, then 100, then 150, then 200, then 250, then 300. So you can skip count by 50s as well if you think that is easier. Or we can always go back to our equations. You can write a repeated addition equation, because I know that each of these have 50. I can add all my 50s together. So you can do 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50. And you should have 6 50s, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So I should have 6 50s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you add all that up, that will give you a final answer of 300. So again, there are multiple ways you can solve this. Figure out which one works best for you, which one you feel more comfortable with, and then you can go ahead and do that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to number 3. Okay, number 3 says solve the problem, show your work. So it says Travis fills 6 bags with prizes. Each bag holds 30 prizes. how many prizes does Travis use? So we have Travis, he has 6 bags, and they tell us that each bag has 30 prizes. So that means I can draw, because Ms. Newman loves a picture when I have a story problems, because when you draw pictures, the story comes alive. So let's go ahead and draw the pictures. You see it better when you see the picture. So I'm gonna draw the picture, and they tell me I have 6 bags. So Ms. Newman is gonna draw her 6 bags. So this is my first bag. This is my second bag. This is my third bag. Okay. This is my fourth bag. This is my fifth bag. And this is my sixth bag. Okay, so these are my 6 gift bags, okay? And they say each bag holds 30 prizes. That's a lot of prizes inside of one gift bag, if you ask me. Whoever gets those gift bags are gonna be some very lucky people. So let's go ahead and keep moving. So we can do the same thing like we did before and use our base 10 line, where remember each line equals 10. So that means if I have 30 inside of each bag, because remember this is 30, this is 30, this is 30, 30 in this bag, 30 in this bag, and 30 in this bag. I can use my base 10 box and put 1 for each 10. So since this is 30, I would have 3. So I would do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this would be my 3. Now that I have my 3, all I have to do is continue working this and figuring out how many prizes that Travis use. So we can write the repeat addition sentence. So I can do 6 30s because I have 6 bags. So I can do 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30, okay? Plus 30 plus 30, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So I can do my repeat addition sentence for that, or I can go ahead and do my skip counting and count by tens. That's another way. So if I skip count and count by tens, this will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. So when I got to the end, I had 180. So that will probably be the answer because that's my skip count. But if you don't trust that, you can always do the math here and add all this up. So if you do the math and add this up, 30 plus 30 is going to give you 60. And 60 plus that 30 is going to give you 90. 90 plus this 30 is going to give you 120. 120 plus that 30 is going to give you 150. And 150 plus this 30 is going to give you 100. Let me erase that so it'll look a little better, okay? Okay, so that will give you a final answer of 180. So so far our math matches our skip count. So I'm confident in saying that Travis uses 180 prizes, and that is the word sentence that I would write. I would say Travis uses 180 prizes. All right, and then we have one more left, number 4. Number 4 asks asked us to check your answers. So, and show your work. So they just want us to check our work, and you know Ms. Newman loves a good check. So we're gonna check our work and just to make sure that we have done this correctly. So this is going to be number 4. So we can check our work by actually doing the skip count. We can skip count by 30. Let me think, there's a few ways we can skip count by 30. We've already did the addition sentence. We already skip counted by 10. Ms. Newman did a lot of the check already, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip count by 30. So if I skip count by 30, since that's the only one I didn't actually put on here, I did a skip count by 10. I did an addition sentence. I'm just gonna do the skip count by 30. So skip counting by 30s, it's like skip counting by 3s. The only difference is you have that 0 on the end from that 10. So you would just have to add that 0 in. So, but it's just like skip counting by 3s. So if I do that, if I have 6 3s, you can skip count by 3 and stop when you get to your 6th finger, or when you get to the 6th number. So this will be 30, 60, 90. Oh, Miss Newman just lost her train of thought, guys. I'm sorry. 120, 150, 180. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I got 180. Sorry, Miss Newman lost her train of thought because I was trying to think of another way that I can show you how to do the skip count, and I thought about it. I thought about it mid skip count, but I'm going to show you also how this resembles just a regular skip count of 3. The only difference is you have that 10 on the end with that 0. So if I did a regular skip count by 3, I want to show you how they are very similar to each other. So you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So they look exactly alike, but the only difference is when you have that 10, you have that 0. So you can skip count by 3s and still do this if you remember to put that 10 in. Okay, that is it for today. Like I said, it was a very short lesson. If you have any questions or anything, parents, go ahead and send me questions or write it under the comments and on the YouTube video, whichever you prefer. And I will see you guys on tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is going to be the last homework video for this week because we have review on Wednesday, quiz on Thursday, then another review on Friday for our big mid-unit test. So tomorrow will be the only day that I will have another video coming your way. So I will see you on tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your day, parents and students. Bye.